This is the future.
Hey lads, I would just like to remind you that Sevagoth exist in the Warframe universe. You know, that Warframe that was added during Call of the Tempestari update, that Warframe which marks the start of short introduction to Warframes and then go instantly to farming the Warframe without any further missions and quests to build up the Warframe. If you still don't remember, then the Warframe you have thrown into the Helminth system so that you can subsume the Gloom ability. Now, do you remember him? Yes, this Warframe still exists in the game, and there was a topic in my community saying that this Warframe is non-existent. I mean, we always talked about the waifu Warframe, Hydroid, and all those Warframes that needs rework, but still, there are players using them. But Sevagoth is a different case as said by my friends. He is strong, but nobody wants to use him. I mean, he got all the tools to kill enemies, casting debuff, summoning shadows, having the best crowd control and survivability which is Gloom, and having a summon that have huge claws and can dismember enemies in a few hits. So, what else is missing? Why players don't play Sevagoth right now? The funny thing is, they remember the Gloom ability more than the Warframe. So, let's understand the Warframe, and see what's missing. So, his first ability allows you to cast a shadow that will give damage vulnerability. This pair well with his second ability that deals true damage per second to enemies affected by the ability. So basically, if you combo the two together, you can create massive damage over time but not to the point that enemy aims will melt within a second though. Instead of relying on these abilities to break enemies, you use them to build up his death well, which then allows you to summon your shadow when it's fill up to 75%. Of course, his fourth has no point but to just activate the shadow after you fill your death well. The best abilities of this Warframe, in my opinion, are Gloom and his shadow form. In shadow form, you can murder enemies with those giant claws, not to mention that when you leave your body, Gloom will still be active allowing you to slow down enemies and regain health while dismembering enemies with your claws. The best part is, the shadow won't die and you will not bleed out. You will just get back into Sevagoth's body, and there is a feature from this Warframe wherein Inaros is very jealous. He got a passive wherein if Sevagoth will end to bleed out, he will form a statue wherein you will be tasked to collect soul from charging enemies to rebuild his tomb. Once rebuilt, you will be back to action and theoretically, the Warframe is pretty much immortal. Well, that's not the case as sometimes, the immortality trick will bug out and you will not even enter Sevagoth's shadow form. And, did I tell you that Sevagoth's shadow is not invulnerable while on this form? So basically, if a high-level enemy bombard decide to shoot his bazooka in your face, then you can't do anything as your shadow will instantly die from that. I know it would be stupidly broken if you give it full vulnerability through the period, so maybe extra damage reduction while in bleed out for the shadow would do. Or, you can add invulnerability during the dash animation so the Warframe will have a fighting chance to revive Sevagoth at high levels. But honestly, after being revived by the shadow, you are almost helpless because you can't do anything but survive again. It's a pointless struggle to survive and not die, as Sevagoth has no true survivability to lother from having slow and lifesteal. He can't fend off enemy attacks with this if you don't have any damage reduction. It's true you can put adaptation and also make good use of the mecha mods set to increase the armor and survivability of the Warframe, but it would be annoying babysitting the dog since it doesn't have that big health pool like what Inaros can give. If you will also try the shield gating mechanic, well, good luck with that as you will end up losing energy from spamming abilities just to keep up the shield gating mechanic. And this will hinder the effectivity of Gloom as you are too busy spamming abilities, and will definitely have no energy left to keep Gloom. Honestly, the Warframe is simple to understand, but he really needs some changes so he can compete with other Warframes in terms of usability. And this is another issue with the Warframe. I can see using him in survivals, but I don't see other missions which can benefit you from using Sevagoth. This is because of the fact that Gloom is a subsumable ability, and it's far more important than the Warframe itself. You can combo Gloom with other Warframe abilities and create positive and useful results, but you can't combo Sevagoth with other Warframes and say to my face that I ended up making the Warframe broken while not using Gloom. Now, I would like to know your honest opinion about the Warframe. Do you think this Warframe needs a rework? Or do you think Gloom is the problem, as it is too useful more than a Warframe? Let me know in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching. Squad leader signing off.